You don't actually hate yourself. You hate the version of you that had to survive, the one who learned to stay quiet to stay safe, the one who smiled when it hurt, the one who performed peace while breaking inside. And that's the tragedy. You buried your real self to protect it. In this video, we're going to explore what that means, why you feel fake, why you feel tired, why no amount of progress ever feels real, and more importantly, how to start remembering who you were before survival took over. You didn't become this way for no reason. You adapted, you shifted, you learned how to be what others needed, even if it meant losing yourself. Because for a long time, being you didn't feel safe, so you became quiet, became agreeable, became emotionally neutral. You lost your fire, your mess, your voice, not because you were weak, but because that's what was required to be loved. You learned to read a room before you learned to speak your truth. You learned to comfort others before you learned how to comfort yourself. You became easy to love by abandoning the parts of you that felt too much. And now, you feel empty, not because you failed, but because you succeeded at becoming who you thought you had to be. That's why you look at yourself and feel nothing. That's why you achieve things and still feel hollow. That's why you're always chasing something, but don't know what. Because the version of you doing the chasing isn't even real. This is identity fatigue, the soul-deep exhaustion that comes from living a life built on adaptation instead of authenticity. You say things you don't believe, you nod when you want to scream, you smile when you want to disappear. You wear a mask so well that you forget it's even on. But underneath, there's still a voice. A version of you that remembers who you were before you learned to hide. And it's not gone, just buried. Let's slow down and talk about how it happened. It started young, when you were punished for being too emotional, when you were ignored for being too honest, when you were praised for being quiet, helpful, low maintenance. So you decided being real is dangerous. And you adjusted. You started showing people what they wanted to see. And over time, you became what they needed, not who you truly were. That's not healing, that's survival. And that survival version of you, it kept you safe. It helped you function, but now it's in the way. Because now, when love comes close, you push it away. When opportunity knocks, you don't feel worthy. When silence arrives, you panic because you've forgotten how to sit with yourself. You confuse numbness with peace, and productivity with self-worth. You wear your burnout like a badge, because slowing down feels like failure. But this is not your fault. It's a pattern, and patterns can be broken. This is why healing feels so hard, because you're not just breaking habits, you're grieving an identity. You're letting go of who you had to become, so you can remember who you really are. And that process, it hurts, it confuses you, it makes you doubt yourself. But that's not regression, it's rebirth. So how do you start returning to yourself? How do you shed the version that kept you alive without losing your mind? Start here. 1. Notice who you are when you're alone. What do you crave when no one's watching? What thoughts surface when the world goes quiet? What version of you feels most alive in silence? That's your beginning. 2. Track your self-abandonment. Where do you shrink? Where do you lie just to keep the peace? Where do you feel resentment for being the strong one? These are your red flags, not of failure, but of misalignment. 3. Reconnect with your anger. You're not just sad or nuts. You're angry. Angry about being silenced. Angry about being invisible. Angry that you had to become someone else just to survive. Don't suppress that rage. Listen to it. It's not here to destroy you. It's here to free you. 4. Give yourself permission to be inconvenient. You don't have to be the easy one anymore. You don't have to be likable all the time. You don't have to be chill to be lovable. Your authenticity will cost you something, but the price of pretending is higher. 5. Let go of the idea that healing looks beautiful. Healing is not linear. It's not tidy. It's not aesthetic. Sometimes healing means feeling like everything's falling apart, because it is. But what's breaking down is the false self. Let it fall. 6. Redefine strength. Strength isn't silence. It's not hiding your pain to protect others. It's choosing to be real even when you're scared. It's showing up anyway. The world taught you to armor up. Now you're learning how to disarm with grace. You're just too real for a world addicted to performance. And the pain you feel, that's not self-hatred. That's your real self, suffocating under years of masks, roles, and survival. It's time to stop performing strength and start choosing truth, because the people who belong in your life won't need the fake version of you to stay. They'll love the messy you, the uncertain you, the becoming you, and more importantly, you'll finally start to love yourself, not the survival persona, not the performer, not the mask, but the you underneath, the one you forgot, the one you buried, the one who's been waiting to come home. This is that moment. Let the mask fall. Let the old version rest. Come back to yourself. You don't need to become a brand new person. You just need to remember the real one. That's the beginning of freedom. That's the beginning of truth. Welcome home.